Hello, everybody. My name is Rich Thau, and I'm going to bring the deck up on screen so I can take you through what we learned here. Hang on one moment. Sure, this is open. Okay. Here we go. Excellent. All right. So today's topic is how to turn qualitative insights into a compelling multimedia presentation. So let me tell you first about the Swing Voter Project, a little bit more than you just heard in the introduction. And obviously, I want to thank the folks at the University of Minnesota for having me here today. I'm honored to be participating and sharing some of the insights on how we turn qualitative insights into a quick turn presentation. So the project is something we started in March of 2019. We're just approaching the 5-year mark. And so it has 3 time frames in it, depending upon who the president was at the time we started we did this work. So for the first 21 months leading up to the 2020 election, we conducted monthly focus groups with Obama 2012 voters who flipped to Trump in 2016. We held these sessions in person during the first 13 months of that iteration of the project. Once the pandemic started in March of 2020, we shifted to online focus groups, and that's what we've been doing ever since. After the 2020 election and throughout the Biden presidency, we conducted monthly online focus groups of swing state respondents who voted for Trump in 16 and then flipped to Biden in 2020. And then starting literally this month, we conducted our first focus groups and are continuing throughout the year of adults who voted for Biden in 2020 and then flipped to Trump in 24. And these are respondents, again, who live in the 7 most competitive swing states from the 2024 election. So that's who we're focus grouping. The focus groups are each 90 minutes long. We do them back to back with a half hour in between. And they're covered in real time by a reporter from Axios. If you're not familiar with Axios, it's a news organization that started by people who started Politico, peeled off from Politico and started Axios about 7 years ago. And they are nonpartisan, and they're just another news organization that loves what we do and covers it each month. So we have a relationship with them that I can talk about during the Q&A. So Axios sends a reporter to basically watch the focus groups on Zoom, and the timing of the release of the results is coordinated with them. Basically, the focus groups are usually conducted on the second Tuesday of the month. Sometimes that shifts. Talk about that later. Most of the time, it's the second Tuesday. And a highlights video is turned around quickly in anticipation of a Thursday Axios story. So what happens is Axios has a story. In the story is a link to our videos. And that's what I'm going to be describing today, is how we put that video together. So we aim to have all of our work done within 24 hours of the sessions. So within 24 hours of focus groups on Tuesday night, we have the highlights video written, produced, edited, and uploaded by Wednesday night. And that's all done every month. So what I'm about to show you is how we do that. And if you're curious about how Axios covers it, this gives you a little sense of some of the recent headlines from Axios. This is essentially, again, how they cover what we do for them month by month. These are headlines from the last 4 or 5 months of Axios stories. So how do we create a video report so quickly? Let me explain how we do that. And obviously, we're happy to take questions at the end. You can put them in the chat. So we conduct the focus groups. As I mentioned, they're 90 minutes each. And during the groups, I take notes. I don't take detailed notes. I take just enough notes to know roughly what someone said. My shorthand is not great, and I don't write well quickly. So it takes me a little time just to get stuff down, but I try not to interrupt the flow of the session with my note-taking, but the note-taking is important. And during the groups, I also star the things that I think I might want to use as items in the highlights video. In particular, if I hear something that's really compelling, I will star it, put a little asterisk next to it, So I might want to use it at the beginning of the video, and I'll explain that in a minute. Of course, we record sessions. If I didn't record them, there'd be no highlights videos to share. We record them using Zoom. The sessions are all done on Zoom. So immediately after the focus groups have concluded, we take these Zoom videos and upload them to a platform called Rev. If you are familiar with Rev, you know how great it is. I don't work for Rev. I do not own shares in Rev. I just love Rev because it does a number of things very well. And one of them is it quickly takes the Zoom videos and turns them into a searchable transcript tied back to the video. Something that Zoom also does. I know they do it, but they don't do it, in my estimation, as quickly or as accurately as Rev does them. So what Rev does basically is it creates these searchable videos. And you can see on screen my arrow. If you type in with the search function over here, a word, it immediately jumps to that word in the transcript and to that exact same moment in the video. So it's super easy to find parts of the video that we need for the video editing just by searching for them in the transcript. The other thing it does, and I'll get into my highlights preparation process in a second. If I am in Rev and I highlight, I can't do it here, but if I highlight something and I copy it and I paste it into a Word document, it carries with it the time code, which makes it easy for the video editor to find the video parts that she needs in order to put the highlights video together. It might sound like a small thing, but not having to cut and paste separate time codes with text saves a huge amount of time. So immediately after the sessions end, we write a script of the highlights video. That's what I was just referencing, pulling respondent quotes from the Rev transcript. So let me give you a sense of what this looks like. This is actually from the highlights guidance that I created for our video editor. Her name is Cindy Cole, K-O-H-L-L. If anybody needs a good video editor, contact me afterwards. I'd be more than happy to give you her contact information. She is awesome. So what I do is I create a Word document that looks like this. This is the top of the first page of the document. And what I like to do when we start the video is, rather than having me start immediately with the narration, I start with a provocative opening quote. So this was one that stood out while the sessions were going on. I noted it by hand in my notes, and it went like this. I'm not going to play the video. I'll just say what Graham said. This is, again, during the height of the campaign. He said, everyone who wants Trump to win is going to go vote for him. I'm not entirely confident that everybody who wants Harris to win is going to go vote. However, I think a lot of people's hesitation about Harris is her lack of experience. And I think I know you're getting to it. More recently, let's just say she stepped up to the plate. Now, a couple of things are going on there. The words, I know you're getting to it, was referring to something I had said earlier to Graham. We edited that out. That's why it's in red. And the red text was a note to Cindy Cole to pull out those 6 words from this. So she did that in her video editing. But that was the way the video opened. If you click on the video at swingvoterproject.com for that month, you would see the video start with that edit. Okay. So I had noted this was a great quote. It fit exactly what I was trying to start the video with. It talked about the enthusiasm for Trump, but not a corresponding enthusiasm for Harris. We know how the election turned out. This happened to be quite prescient. And so I decided I wanted to start this highlights video with Graham's opening quote. Okay, good. So after Graham said his opening statement, we cut that statement for the opening, I should say. Next thing that happened is I started my narration on screen, and I'll show you what that looks like in a second. I started by saying, the night after the first Trump-Harris debate, we focus grouped 11 Trump to Biden swing voters across Georgia. Okay, so I'm on screen. You'll see this in a moment, reading that comment into the computer. And I use QuickTime on my laptop to do that. Next, that was section 1A. So 1A, 1B, 1C are noted, are in A, B, and C form because they're all part of a continuous section for Cindy when she edits it. So I'm letting her know by making them A, B, 1A, 1B, 1C that they all go together, as opposed to 1, 2, and 3, which would be separate parts of the highlights video. So 1A is I'm on screen, I say the first thing. The second thing is I wanted to do a voiceover. I wanted to show an image on screen and just have the people watching hear only my voice, not see me on screen. So that's what 1B is. Once they hear my voice, I reappear for 1C again on screen. So I'm on for 1A, off for 1B, on for 1C. And the reason I did that, by the way, just give away a little bit of my secret here, is I memorize these things before I say them. As you can tell, 1A is short, 1C is short, 1B is long. So by having a voiceover on 1B, I can read it out loud off camera, and I don't have to bother memorizing it. So for me, memorizing 1A, B, and C takes time. I don't have a lot of time to turn this around. We're talking about doing this quickly. So one of my secrets to doing it quickly is to memorize the short stuff and do voiceovers on the longer parts. And for the voiceover, we'll just have some image on screen, and we'll talk about that in a bit too. Okay. And then what you see next is an exchange I had with this guy BD. So it starts off with me. This is not me in my narration afterwards. This is me in the focus group saying the following to BD. So I say, so BD, just let me push you for 1 second since you think that you won the debate and you had some praiseworthy things to say about her vis-a-vis Trump, blah, 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 blah. And then BD responds, and then the back and forth exchange with BD continues below what you see on screen. So this is basically the top of, I said, of page 1 of my narration, of my highlights guidance to Cindy. And this guidance goes on for 4, 5, or 6 pages, month over month, depending upon how much I want to say in the highlights video. All right. So I mentioned I do a narration. That's me reading the narration on my laptop. Same laptop I'm talking to you on now. This is the one I use for this. I literally go into QuickTime. I hit record, and then I save the sections. And as I save them, I number them to correspond with the numbers in the highlights guidance so Cindy can follow along. And then for the narration voiceovers, I look for still images. So it could be an image of presidential candidate, it could be an image of something going on in the news. But what's really important is do not use copyrighted photos without permission from the copyright owner, especially if you're posting it on something like YouTube. You could be accused of copyright infringement and be fined, even if you give credit to the photographer. So if I have any doubt, we just put up text on screen while I'm doing the voiceover. It's not the most visually engaging thing to watch, but again, keeps us out of hot water in terms of copyright. And if you want to find free to use images, that's a URL that you might want to find. This would be a perfect moment, by the way, for me to acknowledge another person who is incredibly helpful to the production of these videos and to all of this work. And her name is Cindy Eng. Cindy, not to be confused with Cindy Cole, has been with me for a very long time and does all the tech work on the Swing Voter Project, helping get the respondents into the sessions, making sure all the technology works properly, and she is invaluable to me. She is the one who I often ask to find these free-to-use images. So just know that she uses this URL, and she recommended it. And as a third person I should mention, name is Matt Steffi, and he is the person who oversees a lot of the onboarding in terms of getting the respondents into the focus groups, making sure that their tech is working properly in advance, that they sign media releases, and he does double checks the recruiting also. And we can talk about that later if that's helpful. But he does, again, an invaluable job for us. Great job. All right. So next thing, send narration videos and still images to our video editor, Cindy I've been talking about, Cindy Cole, via file hosting service such as Hightail or Dropbox. So what I do is after I record all those videos, I upload them to Cindy via Hightail, and she downloads them onto her computer. And then what she does is, I'm not part of this. She uses a video editor software platform called Final Cut Pro to do the editing. So this is something she does separately. Uh, I do not handle this. Cindy Ang and Matt and I do not have nothing to do with the video editing of these clips. That's all on Cindy Cole's plate to do this. And she turns it around super quick. So basically she works off of the highlights guidance document. She uploads the videos, she finds the segments we need, and she strings them together in the highlights video. So what happens is once she's all done with the first draft of the video, she uploads a draft of it to YouTube as private or unlisted so that no one else can download it. I watch it, I take notes, I write down where I think there might be some issue. Usually it's small, the time code and what the issue is, send it back to her to resolve it. It could be, I don't like a fade from one image to another, or perhaps she cut off the first word or part of the first word in someone's comments and I need her to restore it. Or maybe an image is in the wrong part of the video, doesn't match with the voiceover, whatever it happens to be. Those are small things that have occurred. Those are kinds of things I have her fix. Usually it's just a handful of things. She revises them immediately and uploads it again. And then I'll double check it, the final version, before we let it go. And then from that, we go live. And that's what it looks like. And for those of you who are familiar with Sago, they are our partner in this project. They do a remarkable job. They're the ones who find the respondents for us each month. And we have a relationship with them that they do the recruiting for us at no cost to us in exchange for branding. So all the videos, the highlights videos, we also create issue-specific videos, topic-specific videos, which I can talk to you about also in the Q&A. Engagious and Sago are co-branded on all those videos. Anybody who downloads any video about the Swing Voter Project will see Sago mentioned. So just to be clear, Engagious, my firm, pays the respondents to appear. The honorarium comes from Engagious, but the recruiting cost is absorbed by Sago in exchange for the brand. So just want everybody to understand how that is structured. So with that, if you're interested in looking at the Swing Voter Project videos, go to swingvoterproject.com. There you can also sign up to get monthly updates when we do the project. It costs nothing, totally free. And I will email you once a month with a link to the latest videos and to the Axios story that runs. So we'd love to have people who are interested in qualitative research follow what we do. And so please, I encourage you to sign up at swingvoterproject.com, again, for free, to watch the most recent videos, which were the groups that we did on January 21st, and also to sign up to get future updates. So with that, any questions? I think we're going to take them, and I'll stop the share. And that's my email address, by the way. If someone wants to email me offline.